everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Michelle and I am coming to you with Moksha Grace Coaching. And this is a moment of presence. And we are going to be doing these Wednesdays at 5. So we're going to give a couple minutes for a few more people to jump on. Hope you're all having a good day today. So today's topic is going to be fun. It's going to include a lot. And if you happen to tune in yesterday, and you can definitely go to the YouTube channel and check out yesterday's video with conscious enrollments. Yesterday's video was about the genius zone and how to get into your genius zone. What was it? How can you find it? And we're going to talk a little bit about that today, but we are actually going to go a little bit deeper and farther into that conversation. Now, big thing I want you to do is, if you are tuning in, I want you to ask questions. Please post your questions. If you add your name into the comment, then I'll be able to see that it's you. But post your comments. Let me know that you're here, even if it's just a hi. Definitely share these videos, these clips, if you know someone that will benefit from the information. Also, make sure to go to all of the social media sites and and follow, right? Set your notifications up so that you get the notifications for the lives. And that is Moksha Grace Coaching on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and mokshagrace.com is where you go to book a complimentary call with me, where we get to chat and see, what's going on with you, and if it's a match, how I can help you get to that next level where you want to go. So let's dive into our conversation today. So, have you ever been in a moment, right, doing something where you forget where you are? You forget that there's other people in the room. Yesterday, I gave the example of, I know it might sound cheesy, but dancing at my wedding with my husband. And it was our first dance. And I can promise you that I completely didn't even remember that there was anyone else in the room until the electricity blew and the music stopped and everyone sang to us. So that was quite a moment. Other times, maybe you're doing something, your favorite hobby. A lot of people will be painting. I have a friend who's rebuilding the inside of his house. I'm sure that when he gets into the zone and he's, doing his thing, that he just kind of forgets. And all of a sudden it's like, the middle of the night and you're like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Because you get so into what you're doing. When you're in those moments, those are those magical moments, right? Where you're just in tune with what you're doing. You're like in sync, and it just feels really good, right? You're getting a lot done. You're in your momentum. You're in your flow. And those are the moments that we want to try to create more of, because we're more productive, we're happier, we're vibing, right? Our energy is high. We're aligned with what we want to accomplish. And so when you get lost in those moments, it's actually a good thing. Sometimes I'm talking to clients and I'm so in the moment of listening that all of a sudden an hour's gone by, right? So yes, you have to watch your time, but when you're in those moments, special things happen. So today's a great day to talk about this. And the reason why I chose today is it's a full moon, and it is the Capricorn moon, it's the buck moon, whatever you want to call it, but it's also a super moon. And full moons are great for growth, especially this Capricorn or buck moon. That's when the antlers are growing with the deers. Yes, I did some research. But it's also a great time to set intentions, right? Hey there, Keith, how you doing? So what I want to make sure that you're doing for this full moon is really thinking about what it is that you can let go of to allow more magical moments when you're in the flow into your life. Okay. So let's first talk about what that looks like and feels like, right? So some mornings you get up and you're dragging through your day, right? You have to get through your day. That just sounds heavy, instead of being excited to greet your day and looking forward to what you're going to accomplish. You don't want to push through your day. You also don't want to fit into someone else's mold to try to make a life for yourself. You have to create the perfect mold for you. Don't try to be that circle being pushed through a square peg being pushed through a hole, right? All right, so let's talk about those genius zone moments. First, I want you to think about a time when that happened for you. Okay, so get that up in your mind, conjure that up, think about it, remember that moment. Now, think about how you felt in that moment. A couple weeks ago, I was doing a project for the house, and I was drawing and just painting it out. And my daughter walked in the room and said something, and it scared me. It like brought me back into the moment because I was just so in the zone. So think about your moment, how you were feeling in that moment, right? You're in the flow, you're doing something that you're enjoying, and you're present. That's the key. You're present. You're being in that moment with yourself and something that you love. Now, here's the other question. When you're in that zone, is there a certain time of the day that's better for you and more likely to help you get into that zone, right? Some people are morning people. I love the quiet morning before anyone wakes up. I also like the evenings, right? Late at night, everything is done, everything is complete, it's quiet, the house is quiet, and I can just do some research. So think about your time of the day that's right for you. And this isn't a cookie cutter for everybody. Everybody has their own genius zone, right? So what time of the day do you find that you get more in the flow more often? And then what is it that you're doing? Are you working on a project? Are you talking to somebody that you care about? Are you doing work that you're really enjoying? Are you working on a house? What is it that you're doing that brings you into that genius zone? And then think about, who are you in those moments? When I'm in those moments, I know I'm feeling more free. I'm feeling more like myself. I'm in alignment with what I want to accomplish, right? I feel, sometimes I let my inner child out, right? And have fun, and you're laughing and you're just being silly. Sometimes you might be dancing or listening to some music and just singing along, right? I listen to a lot of the 70s and 80s and sometimes the 60s on the weekends, and it brings me back to a more innocent time. And then that's when I can get into my genius zone. So now that you know, right, or you went through that little bit of a process, and we would go into a deeper, longer process to really figure out your zone. But this is a good start, and this is where I want to start with you. So now that you know and you have an idea, what's next, right? What do you do with that now that you have the information? Well, the next steps would be, how can you create more of those moments, or a more opportunity to have those moments, right? What do you need to do to create more of those moments? Do you need to talk to your boss? Do you need to say, hey, I can't work, 60 hours a week and I need to pull back? Do you need to talk with your family and say, hey, if that's what I did. If I have my earphones on in the morning, I'm meditating, please do not bother me. I'm in my zone. I'm doing what I need to do for me. Yes, music and working on the house. That's wonderful because you're escaping, right? It's like a mental vacation. And how can you create those times and set the environment up so that you're not either disturbed or you have the right people joining you? And that's something else we're going to talk about. So sometimes we have to even think about what is surrounding us. So people, right? Are the right people in the room, literally and figuratively? Are you trying to do something with the TV on? Or how about, and we're all human, we all do this, how many times have you gotten out of the zone because you got a notification from some social media thing and it took you out of the zone and into this moment where you didn't need to be right then. You could have checked that notification later. You could have, responded after, but you could have enjoyed that moment. So this is really about taking care with yourself. So changing who you surround yourself with, right? So that includes the TV, that includes social media, that includes negative people, that includes judgmental people, whether they pull you in and get you to start talking about other people, or they're judging you and you feel judged. Are you allowing them into your surroundings, right? Into your self-care bubble, so to speak. The other one is drama. How many times do we think that we're going to spend some time with somebody that we care about and they start telling us about all the things that are going wrong, maybe with them or maybe with someone else that they care about? And now sometimes we allow ourselves to get sucked into that drama, right? That's not gonna get us to our genius zone. That's gonna take us right out of the genius zone. And what I think about when I think about this is the chaos that's created, right? You can either have that chaos where everything is swirling around you, those Calgon take me away moments, or you can be in the chaos where all things begin, where all things blossom, and where they're created. And that's the zone that you want to be in. So making sure that you're not getting into arguments, debates, things that you cannot change that are out of your control. This happened the other day. I was thinking about our family vacation and I was looking at where we're going. And all of a sudden I found myself in the midst of chaos because there's some drama that's going on with the place that we're going. I didn't need to get wrapped up into that. I wasted time trying to, figure it all out when it's not my issue to figure out, right? So we can get drawn in, and no matter how good that you think you are, no matter how in tune and aligned with yourself that you think you are, you can still get pulled in, and that's okay. These are moments. The key is how quickly can you realize it and pull yourself back? How quickly can you realize it and reset? And resetting can just be taking a moment, taking a deep breath, closing your eyes, and just saying, it's not mine. It's not mine. Yes, Keith, strong boundaries, it helps. And I had a client one time and she told me a story about her family. It was very, very dramatic, holidays, dysfunctional, all the crazy things that you can think of. She didn't want to go. She hadn't seen her family in at least a year and a half. And she was going to go back for, I think it was Thanksgiving. So she went and we talked afterwards and I said, how did it go? And she said, you know what? I set my boundaries. So thank you, Keith, for that reminder. I set my boundaries. And what she did was she got through dinner. And then when the drama started and everyone started focusing on her and picking on her as they typically did, she simply got up, grabbed her purse, and said, thank you for a lovely dinner, but it's time for me to go. And when they asked, well, what do you mean? We haven't had dessert. Dinner's not over. She said, you know what? My time's up. I set a time for myself and it's time for me to go. And she left. No arguments, no fight. She just left, right? Said her goodbyes. She set her boundaries for what she could tolerate, and she knew that she was coming to that tipping level, and she left before it got too bad. And then I'm sure she did some deep breaths on the way home. And then we also went through some techniques on how to kind of shed that negativity once you're done in those situations. Because let's face it, there's going to be situations that we have to go through and we can't control the people around us. But what I always like to say is that we can respond from a place from our heart, yet protecting ourselves and what's important to us. So if you don't react and you respond, then you can maintain your alignment, your energy. Interesting thought about that is, have you ever had somebody that has walked into a room and they're just in a bad mood, right? And you can feel it, you can see it in their body language, you can hear it in their tone, you just know, you can sense it. Well, that's energy, right? For those that maybe haven't really studied the vibrations and the energy that we bring whenever we walk in a room. And so when you have these people that come into your environment, they're bringing that negativity and they're bringing that stance with them. And then what we can control is our response to that. A reaction would be, to engage with them maybe. And a reaction would be maybe to exit stage left. But sometimes we can't do that. And so we have to remain calm, right? Calm the chaos. And we have to stay true to what we want the interaction to be like. And so we have to keep our cool. And so that's the response. And so that's that energy that we're talking about. So you have control over your energy that you bring into a situation as well. So that situation that I was explaining about with the vacation, I could have continued to argue and debate, or I could think about how to create something that was going to add to a solution that would benefit everybody versus joining in on the complaints and the judgments. So here's a little thing that you can do to practice. This is I did this weekend. It was very interesting. Try to catch yourself when you're out with friends or you go out and you have an errand to do. Try to catch yourself on how many times you get into something that you really didn't need to get into, whether it's a conversation, it's a debate, it's an argument. Try to see. And instead of engaging, or even if you start to engage, see how you can pull yourself back. Another fun thing to do is think about when you're in a room again, or in a different environment, and there's people around you. Try not to judge. Instead of judging, simply observe. Observe what's going on in the room. Observe the other people. I did this in a grocery store the other day, walking down the aisles and looking around, and we can make judgments, we can make assumptions. Pull yourself back and start observing instead. Be curious. I wonder what their story is. Don't make the story up, but just look, and then move on. Because when you're focusing on other people, you're not focusing on yourself. And when you're not focusing on yourself, you can't get yourself to your genius zone. And guess what? More time in the genius zone gets you from Twilight Zone to success zone. And success is where we all want to be, whether it's emotional success or whether it's personal success, career success. This all goes along with work as well. How many times have you walked into work and the people that you work with are complaining, moaning, and groaning about something that's going on? You can either do something about it or not get involved. It's up to you. But don't join into the chaos and add to the chaos. You want to bring a solution. You want to help raise the energy of everybody that you're around. So family and work, it all goes in together. So when you can spend less time in the negative chaos, that's what opens you up more to that creative chaos, right? Creating in the dark, molding the things that are in your chaos, in your, kind of vortex swirling around. And what can you create? What are you inspired to do? And that's where all the good and the fun stuff is, the stuff that's going to bring you to that next level where you want to be. You're going to have inspirations. You're going to have great ideas. But this is a fun place to be. Staying in that higher vibration, another thing that's very important, right? Because again, as you walk in the room, think of the example I gave you of the person walking in the room that was negative. You certainly don't want to be that person, right? I know I don't want to be. I want to always bring something that's valuable, right, to a conversation. I want to bring something that's positive, and I want to help people move forward, right? Taking inspired action for themselves. The other thing I want to help with is, and that's what I do with the clients, is help them understand what's blocking them from doing this. And so this is really important because I cannot tell you how many times I talk to people that want a better life, but you know what? I just don't have the time, or I don't have the money, or I don't, and we're talking money to do anything. I can't right now. I've got so much else to do for other people. Things are just crazy right now. Well, guess what? The more crazy things are, if you don't take a step back, the crazier they're going to continue to be. But when you do take that time for yourself, when you do take that time to step back and take a moment, put your oxygen mask on first, now you have more to bring to the table. You have more of you, the best part of you, to bring to the table, right? And that is where you want to be. Now, talking about these oxygen masks, I say this all the time. We say that to people, right? Put your oxygen mask on first. It's the only way you're going to be able to help everybody else. But here's the thing, especially with women, we're really bad at this. If we had to pay for that oxygen mask, we would pay for our kids first. We would pay for our husbands first. We would pay for our loved ones first. And then we wouldn't get the oxygen we need. And we still wouldn't be able to help them. So we have to help ourselves first, no matter who you are, what gender you are, what your demographics are. If you're not taking care of yourself first, you're not able to help anybody else that's out there. As much as you try, you're only giving pieces of yourself, slivers of yourself to any situation. So self-respect means self-care. And taking that time for yourself is how you will then be able to be the best version of you and be able to continue to be that best version of you and make the stakes go up higher for yourself, right? Because you're raising the bar for yourself. And when you raise the bar for yourself, guess what? The people around you, they see you as an example. And then they start raising their bar because they don't want to lose touch with you. And there will be those people that will drop off, and that's okay. They'll find their way. You cannot drag people along. All you can do is walk the walk, and whoever joins you, it joins you. And they're meant to be there, right? So there's a few things that we can do, right? Action steps for today. So full moons, we talked about that. Great time for letting go. Great time for setting intentions. So take a few minutes and think, what can you do? What action step can you take today that is going to bring you more into your genius zone? What can you let go of so that you can allow more in, right? Because these sayings, right? But when one door, shuts, another door always opens. So what can you let go of so that something else, something even better comes in for you? And so you want to think about that. You want to think about taking a vacation from social media, taking a vacation from the news. Because guess what? The news is the news. And it's not going to change whether you're watching it or not. What will change is your reality of what's going on. So if you're not watching it, it's not in your reality. It's not bogging you down with negative emotions and negative energy. And then I want you to think about, is there something, is there something that you can add to your self-care routine? Can you add in a 5-minute meditation every morning? Can you add in going out and looking at the sun when the sun rises, looking at the sunrise? How about 5 minutes at the end of your day to go and look up at the sky, especially tonight with the super full moon? So I want you to think about how you can take some time for yourself, take care of yourself so that you can get yourself into your genius zone, so that you can accomplish more of what makes you happy and brings you more joy. So with that, does anybody have any questions? Anything you want to add? I will answer any question for you as I can. Okay. Well, please share in the comments because I'll be looking in the comments to see, and share what you changed. What one thing did you do for this next 6 months? I know, 6 more months of the year. I think I saw a post, and this is definitely why I need to stay away from social media. We're like 100 days or so away from Christmas already, from the holidays, the winter holidays. My gosh. So, what can you do today that is going to set you up for success for the next 6 months? Because these next 6 months, they're always chaotic, right? So, think what you can do today. Definitely comment, let me know, share with us what you're doing for yourself, because that's an inspiration and that's how you can carry it on, right? Pay it forward. So thank you so much for being here. I love these moments of presence with you, and I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like and share, and send it to somebody that you know. Maybe they could definitely use this message today. So until next time, thanks. Good seeing you.